Welcome everyone to the first ever episode of the Before the Tones podcast. I'm your host, Ben Morehead. With me is my co-host, Lieutenant Phil Marchand, and my other co-host, Devan Schipper. We started a podcast, and people keep asking me, why did we start a podcast? What are we going to do? And I've kind of told them that's a great question. We're kind of figuring that out as we go. But I don't know about you guys. Has anybody ever told you you guys should write a book or you should write some of this stuff down? Because I've gotten that before. And actually, members of our department have written a book. I believe Jim Hayden is a best-selling author of his book he wrote a few years ago.
Hero Pants.
Nobel Peace Prize winner, too.
I believe so. I believe it's a New York Times bestseller.
At least he's up for it.
So, anyways, that's kind of what I think this is going to be. There's so many great stories, so many laughs and stuff that we're going to hopefully highlight and tell. It's not our stories. It's not for us. It's for the people that we work with, for them to give a chance to tell some of their moments. So we're going to have some exciting guests. We're going to have current members. We're going to have former members. We're going to have people of the public. Anyone and everyone would be welcome. But we are a fire EMS first responder-based podcast. And with that, we got a very exciting guest today, Lieutenant John Nelsen from the Community Risk Reduction. He's going to be here with us. But before we bring John on, let's introduce you guys. Lieutenant Marchand, Phil.
Yep.
Go ahead and give us a brief introduction of yourself.
Brief.
If you know how to be brief, ever in your life.
If ever this is time. So Lieutenant Phil Marchand, I've been on Sioux City Fire for 20 years, so a little bit longer than these guys. Currently out at Station 4. So you might have seen some of our stuff getting on YouTube and Facebook that we've been doing lately. Again, Ben touched really good as far as why are we doing a podcast? Why do you want to do this stuff? And it is. It's for our people to get some information out to our people. That maybe some people at the outhouses and stuff don't realize what's going on. It's for the public to see all the things that SCFR does, because I think there's a lot of things what we've seen in the last Fire Prevention Week, and people come through for tours. There's so much stuff, even the day in life, which we'll talk about later, that people have no idea what we do, that they don't see. So this is a way for us to bring information to the public. And then also too, it is for the fire service and firefighter community and stuff. So there is going to be some fun to it. So we kind of an entertainment. But yeah, been on the job 20 years. It's the greatest job on earth, and I would tell anybody, highly advise anybody to do it. It's especially if you love to get back to your community and have a purpose for what you do. So,
and Phil, originally from Minnesota, right?
Yeah, God's country up in northern Minnesota, about an hour and a half south of the Canadian border.
Okay, and what brought you down to Sioux City?
The job. I mean, flat out. I was applying for fire jobs at the time. Sioux City was the closest to home, so I got hired and moved 600 miles from home. So that's awesome. That's what brought me here.
All right, Devan's a little firefighter blood in your family. Tell us a little bit about kind of where you're from and what brought you here to Sioux City.
All right. Well, I grew up in Spencer, Iowa. My father, Dave Schipper, was a state fire investigator for about 18 years. Grandfather was chief in Lamar's before that. Now my father is chief in Lamar's. Mm-hmm. So really, I didn't have an option to do anything else.
Yeah.
I've been struck by it since I was a kid.
Yeah. Isn't it always said that shippers didn't create fire, but you created on how to put fire
how to
out?
put them out.
Because wasn't your grandpa's dad was fire chief in Lamar's too?
Yep. So big. Long line there.
Yeah.
But,
you know that scene from Forrest Gump where Lieutenant Dan is talking about how all his dads died in battle? Hopefully not the dying part. We can cut that out, right? No, not that part. That's what I always imagine when I imagine the Schipper family bloodline. It's a family business.
Yeah, so, that's as a whole. That's even here in Sioux City. We have multiple people, generations on the job. We currently have members, fathers, daughters, brothers, cousins. Yeah. We have all that on the job right now.
We got
deep in tradition with family bloodline,
and that's not just here. That's
everywhere.
The
that's
fire service. It's one of the oldest traditions.
Yeah,
in the fire service is it's gonna be a family job. So
I've been on just about a little over 8 years now. I currently drive truck 3 on third shift. Hardest working crew on the.
He's one of those
job,
guys.
So, training probies.
Yeah. Training probies.
That's one of those.
Yeah, we would have written a book, but we got a couple truck guys here, and
I know. If we needed it, I would say we needed the coloring inside the lines. Maybe we.
If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. And we're the toughest. So
awesome.
That's the way it goes.
Well, we got our first guest, Lieutenant John Nelsen from the Community Risk Reduction Bureau. So without further ado, we'll bring on John right now. Hey, everyone, welcome, John Nelsen.
Thank you, guys. Long-time listener, first-time guest. I appreciate it.
When you got notified you were going to be on today, was that the best phone call you've gotten all year about news?
It's probably the best email I received.
Best email you've ever received.
Second best phone call.
Better than getting promoted, yeah, definitely.
It's that second best phone
I
call.
want that far. So, John, you are currently in the Community Risk Reduction Bureau. You got your khakis on right now. Was that something that you wanted to do? Is that like how at any point in your career that you like said, "Hey, I want to go to the bureau and fire investigation and fire prevention"?
It's always been an interest of mine. Second year on the job, I actually went off to the National Fire Academy in Emmitsburg, Maryland, and did the Origin and Cause class.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 2-week course out there, and I mean it's pretty intense, and especially being new to the career fire service. I mean, we're already learning a lot, and just another thing to add to the plate, which I'm fine with. I'm always engaged with active learning. I think it's important that we're continually trying to do better as far as making ourselves better for the job, for our community, and the people that we serve. Being promoted gave me an opportunity to get down into the community risk reduction and actually see a different aspect of the fire department. Suppression thinks that they do all the work. I actually kind of found out that it's more than just suppression. Prevention is a major component to the fire service. If we were 100% proficient at us being good at prevention, we wouldn't need suppression.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. No, I like that.
It gives us a different way to look at things.
So John, originally from Minnesota as well.
Right. I would agree with God's country.
Did not go to elementary school with Phil.
I did not.
If you're not from the range, it's not really Minnesota.
Yeah,
it's like he's from Minnesota.
Yeah.
So
if he doesn't have an accent, it's not really Minnesota.
It's southern Canada.
Yeah, there you go.
Basically.
So what brought you down to Sioux City?
Initially, I came down and went to college at Briarcliff. I was going to be a nurse, but through my studies, I found I was better at the networking aspect of the nursing. So I switched my major to business administration and graduated from Briarcliff and moved back up to Mankato, Minnesota, because go back to the motherland, right? While I was in Mankato, I got on the volunteer service up there.
Yeah.
They're a combination department, and I became a resident volunteer. And what that means is I stayed at the Firehouse. I actually lived there at Station 3, and I worked the 10 shifts a month. My shift would just start at 6 p.m. in the evening and work till 7 a.m. the next day.
Cool.
So it gave me a different opportunity as a volunteer to still serve the community and get more, hands-on experience in the fire service.
Yeah.
What got you interested in the fire service then? If you were like initially nursing and then you went to Mankato and...
Yeah, great question. I worked construction my entire life. My dad has his own construction company, and he also does farming. So I'm used to working outside with my hands. Nursing, I like the healthcare aspect of things. I wasn't focused enough on the nursing aspect when I was in college. So after college, I had to figure out something I wanted to do. My first job, I absolutely hated it, and I needed to figure out my life. I was 25 years old and didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. And the only thing I really enjoyed, I enjoyed helping people, and nursing wasn't my avenue anymore. So I got my EMT, and then what can I do with my EMT? And the fire department was looking for volunteers, and threw my hat in the ring, and that's where it all started. And then when I get hyper focused on something, I really dig in. So I had tested all over the United States.
Okay.
When I was testing, the recession was happening, so they weren't hiring as many people. It was kind of funny. I emailed Patty after I had interviewed here in Sioux City, and that's kind of where we were in the hiring process. That day, called back with a conditional offer, and then Mankato, the combination department, offered me on the same day a conditional offer.
When it rains, it pours, right?
Right. So
of course it did.
It was
boom. This is easy, right?
Yeah, right. And I had a pregnant wife at home, newly married, so there was hardly any decisions to make.
Gotcha.
But Sioux City has offered more opportunity for development and growth, especially professionally. So we made the decision together to come down to Sioux City and here we are.
Perfect.
Awesome.
What year did you come on?
2011, or yeah,
Okay.
11.
And who was your probationary crew?
Greg Thody, Lieutenant Greg.
Or he was your partner.
Yep.
Okay, then who was your crew?
My crew would be Lieutenant Culbertson, Lieutenant Voloshin at the time, now
Yep.
Captain. Captain Johnson was driving engine 3. Al Kinsey was driving truck 3.
Yeah. So there's some names in there.
Yeah.
Father, did Ed ever give you the disappointed father look?
Oh my goodness, such a nice guy.
Yeah.
You never want to make dad
It
mad.
was like it was letting your dad down.
I know.
As red as this table.
Exactly
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah.
I would say that's pretty accurate. But the great thing about Ed, though, he'll discipline or, get kind of frustrated with us. And like an hour later, like I even told Greg one day, it's like, about an hour, we're going to have Lieutenant Voloshin coming by or back here and apologizing for getting upset with us.
Yeah.
Like, he's such a great guy in that regard.
We love you, Ed.
The one good thing, you always knew where he stood with Eddie, even when he came out to force as the house captain out there and as a new lieutenant and stuff. That because I drove Fred for about a month before I got promoted, but even at that point, anytime he'd come to, I always knew that even if he wasn't talking, I still wasn't in trouble with him because he didn't flat out, because he'll tell you like if you did something wrong, but he's very firm but fair, and like you said, the disappointed dad, and you feel bad, but he'll come and, sorry, we can talk about things. Fantastic officer and stuff.
Yeah, I had Ed. I think
Enjoyed
Devin
working
had
with
Ed
Ed.
down there
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
one of.
It was like probation stressful because it's new, and for me, from being from Mankato at the time,
Mm-hmm.
you're away from home, any family. Like I said, we had a newborn at home,
Yeah.
so you have a new child, first child,
Yep.
a new position. Now you're an at-will employee for a year.
Did you buy a house?
Oh yeah, why not?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Well, there was a flood happening in Sioux City, so there was no room
Yeah.
for rent. Homes were getting bought up for cash around me in my price range, so
Yep.
I had literally like 3 homes to choose from, and that's kind of how we ended up where we are living now.
Perfect. So you're on Lawton, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, we got some icebreaker questions for you. I know we kind of been hitting you with a few early ones, but Devin, what do you got over there?
I want to know, what does a normal day look like for you in the CRR? Getting serious now.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Fire prevention month aside, because that's a whole nother
that's
deal,
that's
right? So
I found out it's a different beast all on its
Yeah.
own. For me, like we all plan our days, even in suppression. Like we know kind of a general idea of what we're going to do or what we need to accomplish during the day. The same thing or rule applies with community risk reduction. We have inspections and other appointments throughout the day that we need to get done, but things always seem to get in the way.
like a guy might call you while he's out inspecting and say, dude, I need some help at this address, and I don't know if anyone should be living in this place, right?
Right. So we get that quite often. If there's a fire during the day, we'll go out there and be a safety officer while the suppression is actually knocking down the fire and getting it put out, and then we do our investigation after that. We're talking to people on scene and trying to develop any witnesses and getting statements in that regard as well. But for our day, we have commercial inspections to get done. We have the real fun ones, obviously, because after suppression goes
Yeah.
and sends it all back to us.
Yeah, if we can't get them in 3 visits, then you're usually getting the not easy ones.
Right. So that's pretty time consuming in of itself. And then, we're also doing emergency planning with businesses. We're going to the hotels, making sure that they have emergency plans in place, which some do, some don't, but that's why we're here. We're in the prevention aspect of things. We'll be doing finals on sprinkler systems, fire alarm panels. That's actually what I have to do after this, is go out to another grocery store that's going to be opening up this weekend and make sure everything's up to par in that regard. We do our safe home inspections.
Can you talk? Let's you hit on you said the emergency planning for businesses and stuff. So let's hit on that safe home a little bit and stuff. And it's because emergency planning is not just it's what you guys are helping businesses. For, with their emergency planning. So
the residential and the
so
commercial aspect of things.
what as far as that safe home program and stuff that's in this emergency planning for at home? And what do we?
So it's stuff that we'll come out and identify any potential fire hazard or risk for that resident. It's a free service that we offer. We'll go over proper disposal of smoking, like cigarettes and whatnot, and proper cooking techniques, the limited use of extension cords. We'll go over the space heaters. We'll also install up to 2 smoke alarms, smoke alarms in the homes at no charge.
Okay, and who? Okay, and I know like in you guys have your job and you guys make contacts a lot of times and stuff, but that's also then us on the rigs and stuff in the stations that we go out and we do that smoke alarm program, that initiative that Big Push started. How many years ago have we been doing? How many years have we been doing smoke alarms now?
Well, it's been a little while.
It's
about
been
8 years maybe.
Yeah, but the amount. Do we have numbers? Do we know how many smoke alarms that we've put
I don't know.
in?
I mean, we've distributed, but I know like we'll make a big push with the Red Cross. We'll find an area that can be population dense and be super effective with our distribution of smoke alarms, and we also recognize a higher risk area that may benefit more from us going around in that community and installing the smoke alarms as opposed to other areas in town.
Yeah, we've gone to fires I know that have Sioux City Fire installed smoke alarms in them. So that's a huge win for us.
And we have to and
they don't do us any good sitting in our boxes on the shelves.
No.
If we can get them in the homes.
Well, and they need to be in homes. If you look at different construction types now, right? And you look at like Forest District, we have a lot of legacy construction homes, a little bit older homes, 30, 40, 50 years, 100 years old homes. It's legacy construction, dimensional lumber, natural fibers on all the furniture and stuff, and typically compartmentalized, right? So the homes are broken up. Those homes you had anywhere from it's like 20 to 40 minutes to get out of your home in case of a fire. Still should have a working smoke alarm, still have escape plan. New construction homes, because all the synthetic materials, the lightweight construction, although built very economical and tight for utility costs, heating, cooling stuff for the homeowner, and built very strong, they are right now, because of, like I said, the lightweight construction, synthetic materials, you have only 2 to 3 minutes to get out of your home in the case of a fire. So extremely, extremely important to have that working smoke alarm, because in the middle of the night when you're asleep and all your senses are asleep and everything else, the only thing that's going to potentially wake you up is that working smoke alarm. So,
yeah, and to touch on that a little bit too, it's important to practice different ways out of the home in case of an emergency. We all are creatures of habit. We're used to going in and out of our residence. Typically for me, for example, I enter and exit through the garage of my house, and then almost every day. It's not very often I use the front door or my door to the back patio. So if an emergency happens, our brain's going to be focused on going in and out of that same door.
Yep.
Where if we can practice at least 2 different ways out of the residence, that can correlate to like muscle memory, where we're like, oh, this way is not available, but there is another way. We're not really having to think as much. We just react to it.
Yeah.
Especially if we have younger children, it's important to practice with them. Do a fire drill, day, and do one at night. It doesn't have to be every month, but every 6 months, just to kind of get them refreshed in their mind. There's different ways out of the home, and emergencies happen at different hours of the day and night. And make sure we have a meeting spot. We go to schools all the time and ask kids, do you have a meeting spot? Nope. Well, it's important especially for us, right? When we come on scene for accountability. I mean, we have accountability on the fire ground. It'd be nice if we go to a residence when all this chaos is happening.
Yeah.
To say, hey, is everybody out? As opposed to them saying, I don't know where anybody's at. They have meeting spots, say a fixed meeting spot, like a tree or something. Say, we're all here at the tree. Johnny, Jill, Max is all here. We're good.
Yeah, and that's a great tip even for our members. Getting on scene, we might get a little tunnel vision at times, but checking around, seeing who's around, say, hey, do you live here? Is everyone out? That sort of thing.
So John, that's fire prevention. So let's get into fire investigation. What's the diehard of your job? What really gets? When does it get exciting in the bureau?
I guess the origin and cause is, part of the investigation is really
That's your guys' moment.
like kneeling down to figure out what started the fire and how it actually happened. Because when we get a scene, it's pretty messy, right? It's down and dirty, and we're trying to find such small items where they could possibly be the origin and cause of the fire.
And this is after 27, around 21-ish brute firefighters who don't care about that go in with hoses and tools and just go barbaric.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like
it's
throwing
just
doors,
like,
whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna break this window. I'm gonna pull this ceiling. I'm gonna. Oh, there's a window air conditioner. Well, I better hit that with the nozzle and push that out the window.
Right, and that's why that's
our playtime.
We're in the prevention aspect of things.
Correct.
That's where all the brains go.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, I do have a great appreciation for what you guys are doing, just because I watched my dad do it so long. So that helped give me at least a little base of, hey, don't be messing everything up every chance you get.
And it's totally different too, because I'm not that far removed from suppression where I guess I didn't realize how much they actually do downtown. We always give them a hard time. It's like, yeah, you guys have Flex Friday, go golfing every Friday.
Yeah.
I have not been golfing once this year.
Yeah, lunch at Cahill's every day.
Right, yeah. Does not happen.
But we're not sponsored by Cahill's, by the way. I don't know if you can say that. We're working on sponsors.
But yeah, it's a different aspect, and it's very enjoyable. I do appreciate my time. There's so much stuff to actually learn that it can be a little overwhelming. Especially when, for me, I want to come in and be able to give back to the team.
Yeah.
Where it almost feels like I'm on probation all over again.
Yeah.
Because, there's different aspects as far as like grant writing. We don't do much grant writing in suppression.
Absolutely.
I was down there 2 weeks, like, oh, you have a grant to write. It's like, okay. Well, how do we do this? Well, thank goodness we've had a great team down there. They put together, job aids as far as, how to do things, like at least allow you to muddle through it, and then you just build off of that. You know, just like anything, you try it once, you'll probably fall on your face, but you have a good group of people around you to pick you back up and help you out. And
because when you first got in there, was it this last spring, summer?
May.
Yeah. And then if I remember right, like there was a
fires,
week, and everything was burning down in the city. So you got plenty of experience.
Right. Everybody thought I was a firebug.
5 straight shifts in a row.
And that's a great point too, because when you're on suppression and you're working every third day, you don't realize like how busy the other crews are as well.
Yeah.
Because literally we had like a fire almost every shift. So like every third day you're like, oh, you guys had fires?
That month I think I remember seeing you like. I went from not seeing you when you first got in the bureau to seeing you every shift. And I was like, hey, it was meeting you here again.
It was pretty wild, but thank goodness we've calmed down a little bit here, and it's been a nice little reprieve and be able to focus in other areas and try to get a little bit better.
Awesome. Well, going back, so you say you've only been in the bureau, the office for
over 5 months.
5 months now. So back when you were on suppression. My question for you: What was your go-to Firehouse meal to cook?
Oh, I tell you, I made a killer meal only one time on probation. So my wife and I would be on and off with the meat stuff.
Was it a hot dish?
It was not a hot dish.
That was
casserole for normal people.
No, it's a hot dish. So when you go to the Firehouse, you make a meal. They expect a lot of food. And there to be meat in it.
Yeah.
I made spaghetti. And spaghetti for my wife and I was red sauce, noodles, and some mushrooms. So that's what I made. I made spaghetti, minus the meat. And I can tell you that was the last time I ever made spaghetti without
I cannot imagine, especially with the crew you named. That went over too well.
I had Lieutenant Ohm there as well.
Yep.
And he's a big meat and potatoes person.
Yeah.
Like Lieutenant Culbertson and Captain Voloshin, and we're like, what is this?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I can only imagine how that went over.
And then I went down to Station 1. I made another great meal. I was trying to be healthy, and so I made a Greek salad for everybody.
Yep.
And typically when we like a Greek salad at home, we don't put any meat in it. But I did put chicken in it to keep it somewhat healthy. Problem is you use ingredients that end up costing a lot, especially when you're feeding 8 people.
Yeah.
So the meal was like $8 for a salad. And,
It's probably a good thing you went into the office.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So there was I got a little backlash on the $8 salad too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's hard to cook a cheap meal anymore.
Yeah, I mean everything kind of goes up inflation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
right now
the
it's tough.
kind of thing. But for me, like even like avocado toast, I enjoy
Yeah.
a good breakfast and
Yeah. Is Jello healthy?
Jello.
Yeah.
All that sugar.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite flavor of
Do you have
Jello?
a favorite flavor of Jello?
I do not. I do know there's like a hat mold of Jello.
Yeah. If you look at the screen there, there's a
There's
great
good.
picture, video. I'm not sure what Ryan's got up there.
So
Oh, what's that story all about?
I have a tendency to leave stuff, or I did, leave like an article of clothing, whether it be a jacket, a hat, perhaps, laying around the station, and I'd be followed up by some people who felt like they were comedians,
Yeah.
and they would spend a lot of time and energy letting me know that I maybe misplaced one of my articles of clothing. I found my hat in a freezer before.
Was it in like water and like it was an ice block?
Yeah,
Okay.
It was frozen pretty
Okay.
solid. And then you would think that would make
Or that you
remind
would
me.
remember that you put it in the
Yeah.
freezer. I don't know why you ever do that.
'Cause
That's
I
weird.
like to have a cool head when I'm
Yeah.
on fire
The
scenes.
Probies do that
Makes
sometimes.
sense.
Down there. They put their stuff in the freezer.
Allegedly.
I don't know
They
why.
might.
I don't know why they do that.
Yeah, and then I don't know if somebody was wearing it because they had a bad hair day
Mm-hmm.
and fell in their Jello mold, but I did find it in the refrigerator in a Jello mold as well, which is
I heard that name brand Jello would probably work better than generic, just in case anybody was wondering.
If everyone was
Allegedly,
wondering,
yeah.
yeah, who would ever do that?
I heard that.
Any other good stories from your days on the rig?
I try to maintain a real under the radar
Sense of professionalism.
yeah, and just go to work, do my job,
Yeah.
be a steward to the community.
You
of
did
the
really
community.
good while you were driving truck 3 because I don't think I ever relieved you once when you were assigned down there.
Yeah,
Because you were out covering everyone else's covering lieutenant place,
Yeah, my officer at the time didn't even know I was his officer. He was my officer.
So with working 8 to 5, 8 to 4:30 now, do you get as much time to ride your hog?
The motorcycle riding actually would be on the uptick. However, there has been some road construction that's made the commute to town a little bit more challenging.
Yeah. Make it up to Sturgis yet?
No, because I don't want to be a trailer queen. I want to ride it the whole way.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense. What CC was that? What CC is your bike in?
It's
What's the
100
make and model?
It's 125 cc. So it's an all or nothing,
Yeah.
Thunder
type of
between
thing.
your legs, baby. That's
Right.
yeah.
And
Wow. That's
It-
good.
once you get on it, it's a 2-up. We
Yeah.
could go around town if you guys ever want to take a ride
If
around
you ever
on
get
the
a
hog.
sidecar, I'll let you pick me up and
Yeah.
drop me off.
Oh, the 2-up's a real experience.
Even Mario Kart goes up to 150. In case you were wondering.
It doesn't require flags. So.
That's awesome. Well, John, thank you very much for being our first ever guest on the Before the Tones podcast.
Well, I'm glad I came here today and was able to be your guys' guest. So
Awesome.
got that checked off the box of things to do.
We appreciate it. Before we do sign off, Phil, you got a few things that this is the fill me in segment of the show.
Yeah, to fill me in. So
kind of talk about what's going on in the
yeah,
department.
just some stuff that we're fortunate. Fire Chief Everett puts an update out every Friday, and also our EMS director Jim Hayden also puts an update out every week. So just some things that are happening around here that the public doesn't realize how high speed of a department we have. We just recently, at the beginning of the month, we had our fallen firefighter ceremony. We also did a recognition ceremony for our members that get recognized by other members within the department and get nominated for awards for achievements and things that they've done, whether it's on a scene or just projects and things that are working out. Because we have high speed individuals that are always engaged, doing lots and lots of projects and stuff that make this department better. And part of why this department has an ISO rating. This department has our CFAI accreditation, our CAS accreditation, all that stuff. So That was the beginning of the month. The strategic planning happened. They do that every 5 years. It's a huge undertaking, but that helps us set some goals and some achievements and things to shoot for over the next 5 years. It literally is a strategic plan for the department of where we're going to go, because there's no point, you need a roadmap, right? You need a direction to go. Otherwise, you're just treading water. So that was this month. We have concrete work happening out here. We're at the training center today. We've got concrete work and stuff happening for a new training center, new training tower that's going to be going up. That's going to be a fabulous, fantastic facility. Multiple stores, multiple burn rooms. It's going to be a huge advantage for us for training and stuff. Community awareness program. We had a small Citizens Fire Academy on a one-day event, which our Citizens Academies should be coming back here hopefully next year. What else? We have new rigs. We have 4 new engines that are going to be coming. That's
really
a huge
Very
thing
excited
because the rigs that they're replacing have been, you look at engine 1 and that girl is like hurting. That poor thing, when it goes down the street, you can almost hear it screaming to be like, I just want to die.
It's just surviving.
Oh yeah, it needs replaced. It's ready. So I mean, we're busy. We're
there
busy
was
department.
The current reserve rigs.
Yep.
We had a big victory watching them.
Yes, the E1s.
They've earned their.
And what else? A couple other things. If you guys haven't on our YouTube, which this will get you uploaded to our YouTube page, the Day in the Life of Lieutenant SCFR, which we're going to be a whole series, a Day in the Life series. Eventually, it was filmed by myself and Keaton Ruskamp, and he did all the editing work on it and stuff, cut it down. It's on YouTube right now. So the Sioux City Fire Rescue YouTube page, it's got 24,000 views. Last I checked, so check that out. It kind of gives you a behind-the-scenes look of what happens on a daily basis. And then some public events. We're going to be out here this week. We got a couple trunk or treats that guys will be at Thursday over at Betty Strong Center, the St. Thomas Church on Pierce Street, and Big Brothers Big Sisters from 5:30 to 7:30 on Thursday. And then coming up the end of the month, we'll be out at the Roundhouse, out at the Rail Museum. And that will be there from pretty much all day for their Halloween event out there. So lots of things happening. CPAT happening, EPAT happening, our testing stuff is going on. I mean, Sioux City Fire Rescue is a busy place. There's always something happening, always something to do. Lots going on.
Yeah, and next month, mustaches. That's November.
Yeah,
mustache competition coming up. We'll hopefully incorporate that into our next episode.
Favorite month out of the year.
That's right. It's fun. All the wives and girlfriends hate it.
Yeah.
But it's when we look our best. It's when
It's
when the public at the Hy-Vee loves us, because we all come in looking good, rocking our mustaches. So with that, let's sign off with the first ever, hopefully not the last ever, episode of Before the Tones podcast. I'm Ben with Phil, Devan, and our first ever guest, John Nelsen. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening today. If we ever get fans, thank you for being a part of this. With that, Ryan, roll the end credits.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.